Most people search for connection in all the wrong places. They think it's about saying the right things, looking a certain way, or having undeniable charisma. But here's what they miss. Real connection has nothing to do with any of that. It's built on something much simpler, much more powerful. It's built on being fully there. You don't need perfect timing or scripted words to make someone feel genuinely close to you. What matters is showing up with clear intention, staying aware, and having the guts to drop the act. If you're looking to forge a real bond with a friend, with anyone really, in just a few minutes, the first thing you need to do is change where you're putting your energy. Stop worrying about making the right impression. Start caring about truly seeing the person in front of you. Genuine connection doesn't come from talking more than everyone else. It comes from listening better than anyone else does. When you offer someone your undivided attention, your gaze, your quiet, your understanding, you're saying something most people never get to hear. I actually see who you are. And in a time when everyone's mind is somewhere else, that kind of focus is incredibly powerful. The opening 60 seconds are all about being there, really there, no phone in your hand, eyes meeting theirs. Your posture showing them they're what matters in this moment. Being present like this builds the groundwork for every bit of trust that follows. The next 60 seconds belong to genuine interest. Ask something that makes them pause and think, not about surface details, but about what they actually feel inside. Something like, what's lighting you up these days? Or what's been sitting heavy on your mind lately? Simple phrasing, maybe, but they unlock something deeper. The real secret here is how you receive their answer. Listen like their words are the only sound in the room. Don't wait for a gap so you can jump in with your own experience. Just listen. The final 60 seconds are about paying attention to what isn't being said out loud. Watch how they respond. Are they leaning in? Do their eyes brighten when certain topics come up? And then, be yourself without the filter. Don't smooth out your rough edges to sound polished. Just be honest. Showing vulnerability doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And when you're comfortable being real, you silently give them permission to do the same. That's the shift where casual friendship becomes something that actually means something. Not because you manipulated it into existence, but because you let it unfold naturally. Connection isn't measured in minutes or hours. It's measured in how much depth you reach per heartbeat. You could sit beside someone for an entire evening and never touch anything real. Or you could share 3 honest minutes and leave them feeling something rare. Warmth, trust, being truly seen. Everything meaningful starts with one thing we've almost forgotten how to do. Be completely present. We're surrounded by buzzing notifications, minds pulled in 17 directions, attention sliced into pieces too small to matter. Presence has become almost extinct, and yet it's the only foundation strong enough to hold real relationships. When you give someone every bit of your focus, you're not just hearing words with your ears, you're absorbing everything. The slight shift in their voice, the way their hands move when they're excited, the silence between sentences. Your energy tells them something no script ever could. Right now, in this moment, you matter to me. To truly be present means hitting pause on everything else. The noise in your head, the assumptions you've already made, the itch to prepare your response while they're still talking. It means actually seeing the human being standing there. This isn't about waiting politely for your turn. It's about caring what's actually being shared. Presence is both a practice you choose and a sign of respect you offer. It reveals emotional maturity, real conversational skill, and the kind of empathy that can't be faked. It turns routine small talk into a moment someone will remember. Most people want attention, sure, but what they're really starving for is presence. Attention can be shallow, almost mechanical. Presence cuts deep. Attention fades the second you look away. Presence stays with someone long after you've gone. When a person senses you're genuinely there, not half distracted or silently critiquing them, something shifts. Their walls come down, their heart eases open. Trust starts forming in real time. The relationship stops being transactional and becomes something that touches the soul. Practicing this level of presence takes conscious effort. It means putting your phone face down and ignoring it. It means eye contact that isn't aggressive but isn't evasive either. It means quieting your mental chatter enough to absorb not just the content, but the emotion, the body language, the unspoken message underneath everything. When you create that kind of space, honesty doesn't just show up, it flourishes. Real connection has never been about logging hours together. It's about the quality of attention you bring. 3 minutes where you're fully locked in can transform a friendship more than 3 hours of scattered surface level chit chat ever could. When you get good at being present, you gain access to the deepest kind of human connection there is, the kind that feels natural, authentic, and impossible to forget. Curiosity is what builds the bridge between two people who might otherwise stay strangers. It transforms bland conversation into genuine connection. It turns friendship into real understanding. When you approach someone with authentic curiosity, you're communicating something beautiful. I actually want to know the real you. This isn't about gathering information to fill awkward silence. It's about discovering what makes someone tick beneath the surface they show the world. Real curiosity comes from a place of empathy, not from interrogation. It's rooted in being genuinely interested, not intrusively nosy. When you're talking with a friend, curiosity shows itself in the way you listen, the questions you choose, and how you respond to what's shared. Most conversations are just two people taking turns broadcasting. Rarely do you find someone truly trying to understand. You earn trust the moment you stop making assumptions and start exploring. Ask things that invite them to reflect inward, questions that let them share not just what they do with their time, but why it matters to them. What makes you feel truly alive? What's something that's been on your heart lately? The words themselves are simple, but the meaning behind them runs deep. You're showing her you care about what's happening inside her world, not just the version everyone else gets to see. Curiosity also demands patience. It's not about racing through topics or spinning the conversation back to yourself at the first chance. It's about holding space, letting silence exist when it needs to, showing that you're genuinely interested, listening without immediately judging or fixing or comparing. That's how people feel safe enough to stop performing. When someone feels understood, like truly understood, they feel valued. And that experience of being seen and heard for who they actually are is what creates bonds that last. Curiosity takes ordinary back and forth and turns it into something sacred, an exchange built on trust and mutual respect. It dissolves the barriers people put up. It builds emotional closeness. It reveals the shared humanity underneath all our different stories. So if deep connection in a short amount of time is what you're after, let go of the need to impress. Replace it with a hunger to learn. Ask meaningful questions. Listen with your whole attention. Reflect on what's shared. Actually care. The more curious you are about what lives inside someone's heart, the more they'll want to let you see it. Because curiosity isn't just showing interest, it's love expressed through attention. Authenticity is what keeps connection alive. It's the bravery required to show up exactly as you are, unedited, flawed, and completely genuine. So many people burn energy trying to seem impressive. They rehearse what they'll say, they hide anything that might look like a weakness behind a mask of confidence. But what actually draws people toward you isn't flawlessness, it's honesty. When you stop putting on a performance and just exist as yourself, you give others silent permission to do the same. Authenticity opens the door to real openness. And openness is where trust takes root. Being authentic doesn't mean dumping your entire inner world on someone or trying too hard to prove you're sincere. It just means being truthful in how you think, what you feel, and how you respond. If something moves you, say it. If you don't know the answer to something, admit it without shame. Vulnerability isn't a flaw, it's controlled strength. It takes far more courage to say this is who I am than to keep pretending you've got everything figured out. In friendship, authenticity creates emotional safety. When your friend picks up on the fact that you're being real, that your kindness, your interest, and your words come from a genuine place, she relaxes. People can sense when someone's energy is truthful. They let their guard down because they realize they don't need to perform around you either. Authenticity also means your actions line up with your words. It's not about saying what sounds good in the moment. It's about living in alignment with what's true. Consistency over time is what builds credibility. That's what earns trust, respect, and makes people want to be around your energy. In a culture obsessed with curated images and perfect appearances, being real is quietly revolutionary. When you embrace your humanity, the awkward parts, the mistakes, the unpolished sincerity, you remind others that connection isn't about being flawless. It's about being human side by side. That's what turns fleeting moments into meaningful memories. Authenticity doesn't just attract people, it heals something in them. Because underneath everything, what we all crave most is simple: to be loved not for the mask we wear, but for the truth underneath it. Depth in any connection isn't measured by the clock, it's measured by how much truth gets shared. You can exchange words with someone for years and still barely know them. Or you can have 3 minutes of real conversation and walk away feeling like you've known them forever. Meaningful connection has nothing to do with duration. It has everything to do with how willing you are to go beneath the surface. When presence, curiosity, and authenticity come together in the same moment, they create something that transcends time itself. Depth happens when conversation moves past the usual small talk into territory that actually matters. Feelings that haven't been voiced, dreams that haven't been shared, fears that usually stay hidden, the values that guide someone's life. It's when both people drop the pretense and meet as equals, not as people trying to impress each other, but as human beings choosing honesty. In that kind of space, trust doesn't have to be forced. It forms on its own. Hearts start opening, not because they're being pried apart, but because they finally feel safe. That's when you realize just how powerful a few genuine minutes can actually be. We exist in a world that worships quantity: more likes, more messages, more surface level interactions, but the soul doesn't care about more. It responds to real. A handful of words spoken with intention can heal more than 1,000 said without thought. When you bring your full presence, listen with real curiosity, and respond with authenticity, you create something unforgettable: a moment of true human connection. This kind of depth doesn't require you to work harder. It requires you to pay attention differently. It's about being emotionally awake, noticing the details most people miss. The shift in tone when she talks about something painful. The way her whole face lights up when she mentions what she loves. The brief pause before she answers a question honestly. These tiny moments are where connection actually lives. In just 3 minutes, when your heart and your attention are genuinely engaged, you can leave an impression that lasts for years. Because depth doesn't need hours. It needs truth. And when truth is shared openly between two people, it has the power to turn ordinary exchanges into extraordinary bonds. At the end of the day, connection isn't about having a strategy. It's about being sincere. It's about showing up fully present, leading with curiosity, speaking with honesty, and caring more about depth than how long the conversation lasts. When you learn to truly listen, when your focus shifts from trying to be interesting to actually being interested in the other person, you unlock the kind of bond that time alone could never build. Real relationships aren't constructed through milestones. They're built in moments. They grow from the courage to be yourself, the willingness to understand someone else, and the desire to make another human being feel seen and valued. It only takes a few intentional minutes to remind someone they matter, and those few minutes can change both of your lives in ways you never expected. So don't underestimate what a real exchange can do in a world that feels increasingly disconnected. Your presence can be the calm someone desperately needs in their chaos. Your curiosity can be the doorway that leads to real understanding, and your authenticity can be the invitation they've been waiting for to finally trust someone. Depth has never been about how long you've known someone. It's about how real you're willing to be with them. When you walk into every interaction with honesty, empathy, and focused attention, you're not just building casual friendships, you're creating connections that actually last. And sometimes that kind of connection can start in just 3 minutes.